Hello and welcome to this afternoon bourbon taste challenge. And I have two bourbons. This is WD Liquor's genuine Kentucky bourbon whiskey. Yes, it's genuine, it's real, it's not fake. And they have even more surprises on the label. It's bourbon whiskey distilled in Kentucky. That makes perfect sense. Genuine Kentucky bourbon whiskey distilled in Kentucky. Now, who thought of this label? Who thought of this label? To imagine that Kentucky whiskey would be distilled in Kentucky. There's a horse with a jockey. There's the guarantee, quality guarantee, which is a wax seal, but it's not really a wax seal. It's just a drawing on paper. It says on the back that it's aged 3 years and that it's from Frankfort, Kentucky. You can imagine what distillery that is. And it's a company called Worldwide Importers. Aged 3 years, bourbon. Doesn't say straight bourbon, just says bourbon. Can't figure out why it doesn't say straight bourbon. That's how they choose to market it. Doesn't matter to me. Has it been on the market since Winn-Dixie was formed in 1955? It's possible, because I know private labeling goes back a long time. Store brand, private labeling, whatever you call it. Independent bottling, but it's not even independently bottled. It's just bottled for a company unrelated to the liquor company. All right, anyway. But, I mean, you could make videos about mayonnaise, all the different mayonnaise brands that are produced by a major company and sold under a private label brand like Piggly Wiggly, Vons, Safeway, Albertsons, Kroger, Walmart, etc. All right. Here is the original Jesse James America's Outlaw Bourbon Whiskey, introduced in 2011, also 80 proof. First taste of freedom. Yeah, all right. A liter bottle. Now, you will not believe this, but it's the truth. I found this bottle. I'm going to go rinse it off. At Savannah Discount, Marrero, Louisiana Highway 45 northbound. If you want to get techno. So I found this at Savannah Discount, one of America's legendary liquor stores, and I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. This is probably a company that's now just a legend across the United States. But I found this bottle, 1 liter, $7.99. Now, did I know anything about Jesse James America's Outlaw Bourbon? No. Tavern strength. That's cute. Tavern strength, 80 proof. Established 1882. Well, yeah. Established in 2011. $7.99 for a liter. $7.99. Did I know anything about it? No. But for the price, I didn't care. And the normal price for this, a liter of the, okay, I don't know why I'm coughing all of a sudden. A 750 milliliter bottle, the regular, your standard bottle of this runs about $17. 17, maybe 18. You might find a deal. Somebody selling it for $15.99. You never know. But around $17. So to find a liter for $7.99 is unreal. But every time I go to Savannah Discount, I find deals that are unreal, like off the wall. And I can't resist. Skaga says, hope everyone is doing well. Same to you. Hope you're doing well. Okay. It's distilled to perfection. Of course, every whiskey I ever buy is perfect, according to the label, and the best. They're all the best. So they're all equal. Old time charcoal mellowed and aged in oak casks to achieve an incredibly smooth and full bourbon character that makes this one of the finest whiskeys. Imagine that. I found one of America's finest whiskeys for only $7.99 for a whole liter. It's amazing. Jesse James, 1817. I'm sorry, 1847. 1847 to 1882. That's why this started in 1882. That's when he was killed. But it really started in 2011. This whiskey is at least 24 months old. Bottled by Jesse James Distilling Company, Mira Loma, California. Well, I found a liquor company, a bottling company, at least in Mira Loma, California. It was not called Jesse James. So, yeah, it's an alias, but whatever. All right. It doesn't say what state it's from. It just says bourbon whiskey. Well, that's probably because it's different bourbons from different states. Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, maybe North and Indiana. They blend them together. They buy them on auction, probably get a deal, get whatever deals on auction, and they bottle it in Mira Loma, California for Jesse James Spirits. Okay. Skaga says I'm going to look for that whiskey. You might find it. I saw it recently in New Orleans, and it was still 2-year age. Now the website says age 3 years, but I've never seen but the 2 years. So I guess Louisiana rates low on their list. So they only send us the 2-year age. Hi, buddy, and everything else watching. Cheers from the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, says Cheshire Homebrew. Cheers to you. I'll have the bottle of whiskey and the firearm to. Okay. All right. Age 3 years, age 2 years, Kentucky, bourbon whiskey, American bourbon whiskey from whatever states, probably multiple states. Okay. Websites. Well, let me pour it first, then I'll. Simple label. I remember this stuff when I was 6 years old, 16 years old, 26 years old, 36 years old, so forth. People would always buy Winn-Dixie liquors because they were cheap. Now, why did my family typically buy Winn-Dixie liquor and Carlo Rossi wine for a family get-together? Because it was cheap. My family, I'm speaking for my family, I can't speak for yours, but my family, they were like, they weren't like they were. It wasn't similar to they were going to buy whatever was the cheapest just because that's how they operated. They weren't particular about beer, wine, and liquor quality. I'm just telling you the truth. You may look down on that, make fun of it or whatever. It doesn't matter. All right, this one is very light. This is the Winn-Dixie one. Yeah, look how light the WD Liquors from Wide World Importers is. That is some light amber, aged 3 years, in new charred oak barrels. Well, we know it's aged for 3 years in new charred oak barrels. They're not aging it in used barrels, and we know it's at least 51% corn. Other than that, we don't know anything. Well, we know it's in Kentucky. This one, we know it's aged at least 2 years in new charred oak barrels. It's pretty dark. Does it have coloring added? No, bourbon is not allowed to have coloring added. What about flavors? Any flavoring added? Nope, not allowed. Okay. Everyone. Yeah. Cheers to everyone. All right. I'm going to have to close my eyes to do this, but let's look at the web. That's a light color. I know. I don't think they're adding coloring as light as it is. Well, they can't. Well, it's bourbon. They can't add color. Winn-Dixie bourbon. There's the website, because the website is the store site. You see what I'm saying? That's what you get. $15.99 until the 3rd of November. Cup sandwich bread. And they've got blue plate sandwich spread, which is like mayonnaise, paprika, and pickle relish for $4.19. That's high. In my opinion, that's expensive. Because I was at Walmart today and they had a great value sandwich spread for $187. Great value, really, really good. Yeah, it's pretty good actually. Orange, it's white. So they don't have the paprika, I guess. They use some other spice. But, well, whatever. I'm saying this is what the website is for this. It's just a store website. That's why I'm showing it. Now, here's Jesse James, American Outlaw Spirits. There's Jesse James Dupree. He sees the sun shining down on me. I see the heat of love's flame down on me. Well, I feel it. I feel the heat of love's flame down on me. All right. He's got that little smirk on his face, just like Lee Harvey Oswald. Got the face just like Lee Harvey Oswald. All right. But anyway, they have the white label. There's also the Tennessee whiskey, honey, spiced. There's more than those. They're just showing one. All right. Charcoal mellowed. Is that unusual? No, that's typical for bourbon. They let it drip through charcoal. Aged in oak casks. That's the law. All bourbons are aged in oak casks or barrels, whatever you want. 36 months. My bottle says 24 months. Distilled perfection. Well, that's normal too, because every bourbon you buy says it's perfect, it's wonderful, it's fabulous, it's world class, and so forth. HEB, yeah. H.E. Butts of Texas. I've been there. They have a lot of good stuff. They have a liquor section, or a separate liquor store. I know in Texas you can only buy liquor at a liquor store. I thought it was the Wild West Jesse James whiskey. Well, it's Jesse James Dupree. All right. Riffing off of Jesse James. All right. Shining down on me. I feel like love's flame down on me. All right. Oh, I can't help it. I can't help it. He sells all kind of boots, pants, shirts, caps, whiskey glasses, whiskies, and more. None of which I've ever bought, except for this, because I stumbled across it. I wasn't looking for it, nor would I have bought it for the regular price, I'm pretty sure. All right, but for $7.99 a liter, I'm game. Now, the Winn-Dixie, $15.99 on sale this month. A huge jug bottle. What's the risk factor? There is none. I mean, literally, there's no risk factor. A, it's bourbon. So you know it's going to have some minimum standard quality standards. It's going to be aged at least a few months at least in new, not used, new charred oak barrels. And it's going to be at least 51% corn, which may or may not appeal to you, depending on your opinion of corn grits, because they usually use yellow corn grits. They take yellow corn, it's dry, hard, and they pound it with this huge hammer and turn it into little granules called grits. I went to a distillery in Kentucky, the Barton Distillery, Barton 1792 Distillery, and the lady showed me this huge hammer. It's like a huge hammer, but it's big, like you could crush a car, like a Volkswagen or a Toyota Corolla, maybe a Toyota, maybe a Nissan Versa, something. But and it just goes bam, 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 crushes all the corn. All right. I even have a video still posted on my website, on my YouTube channel, showing the corn pouring out of the 18-wheeler into the chamber. It's underground. The truck drives up They open the little, oh yeah, it's a grate. So they open the vats on the truck and it pours through, and however long it takes to empty the truck. Now, could you take that same corn and make vodka with it? Yes. You just would have to not age it. You just distill it, and then maybe you distill the distillate and distill the distillate and distill the distillate and distill the distillate. You might do it 5 times. And then you filter it. And then you take what you filtered and filter it. And then you take what you filter and filter it. And you take what you filter and filter it. You might do that 10 times. Then you bottle it. That's vodka. Corn vodka, grain vodka. All right. Sweet corn, charred oak. Yeah, sweet corn, charred oak. Vanilla, yeah. All your typical bourbon notes. Similar. But this one has like a weird papery note, like paper, like white paper, like copy paper, or loose leaf. I'm thinking copy paper. That's strange, very strange. And I think it's Jesse James. All right, taste time. Cheers. I want to say this one's like candy corn, but it's not like candy corn, which you could buy at the store. But it's like caramel corn, you know, like Fiddle Faddle or Crunch and Munch. I think Mathern sell Crunch and Munch. I don't think they sell Fiddle Faddle, but I could be quite wrong. I don't really keep track of caramel coated corn with peanuts, but it tastes more like that. Yes, over here. Now, what's better, Fiddle Faddle or Crunch and Munch? I'm sure there's videos on YouTube all about that. This is similar, but this one has the corn that's more like years ago. I used to go to Mexico. It seemed like I would go every year. I would drive to Mexico, take hours, you know, leave at 5 in the morning, be there for the afternoon, late afternoon. I don't know why I would do it. I would just do it and go to a different town every time. Camargo, Ciudad Acuña, Piedras Negras, Reynosa, Ciudad Miguel Alemán, Nuevo Progreso, Nuevo Laredo, Matamoros, all those places. And San Luis Rio, Colorado, Ciudad Juarez. And they always have these people selling, and I didn't always go alone. I had people go with, well, my daughter went with me, but and my friend David went, but he couldn't cross the border because he didn't have a passport. And the border guard guy, officially like the manager of that area, he was like, you can do it without a passport, but you might have trouble coming back. But they'll still probably let you in. And then, but he was like saying, I don't know if I want to do that. He said, they won't care if you go into Mexico without a passport. They don't care. But coming back, it could be a problem. I was like, I had my passport. All right. But they would have those guys selling those sticks with like a corn cob on it. And they'd roast them over the full corn. They'd roast it over this fire, the way they make it crackle. And it was like a crunchy corn snack. I guess it's sort of like those things they sell in the bag that you can buy over here. what they call that stuff. It's real crunchy. Some of it has like cayenne pepper on it or garlic or something. Uh, and they smelled really good roasting, and they tasted good. So yeah, it's kind of like that. Or like a Doritos original without the salt, naturally. Does it have any rye? It might, but I'm not picking up too much rye spice. Just a little twinkle of it. Any malted barley? Any bready barley? Yeah, probably a little tiny touch of that. Don't worry, they don't tell you the mash bill. See, when you get a whiskey this cheap, they don't bother with the mash bill. You'd be lucky if they bother with the website. More charred oak. More fiddle faddle or crunchy munch. More roasted corn. Some oak, charred oak. Okay, so based on that, and the 2 year versus 3 year, would it matter? I mean, it might, but I don't see where it's really making a difference. Ooh, this is tough. Would I recommend either one? I mean, yeah, I'd recommend them. I mean, why not? You say, well, I'm kind of hard on money this month. My budget's kind of messed up. I'd like to try some new bourbon, but I'm not really rolling in the money this month. Well, if you live in an area where they have Winn-Dixie, WD liquors, like in Florida, they have stores called WD liquors. I mean, $15.99 for this huge thing. If you have any kind of sense of responsibility and self-control, I don't know why it wouldn't last a month or at least 3 weeks. So there you go. Is it a fabulous product? Obviously not. Is it a good serviceable bourbon for if you're in a pinch or you just don't want to waste bourbon on people that you know is going to waste it, guzzle it, and not care about it? Yeah, it's perfect for that. Wedding reception, things like that. They don't care. They just don't care. I'll tell you what, this has got a pretty heavy char. It's pretty heavily charred. Can that be the Winn-Dixie? I can't imagine that the WD liquors would be that heavily charred. It's got to be the Jesse James. I'm not sure, but I'm thinking I don't see WD, the beef people. Now they're really serious about their meat. Now everybody in Louisiana could tell you that it's a great place to go if you're looking for some good top-notch beef for barbecue. Like I got this little grill over here, this cast iron grill. Man, I just do no effort. I take no effort. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I put no effort into it almost, and that stuff comes out primo. I had that Chairman Select Angus, Black Angus beef. You say, well, it's a lot of pain. It's a big hassle to barbecue. I did no. I don't think dumping charcoal in a pit and splashing it with lighter fluid and letting it burn for 15 minutes is difficult. I do other things while it's percolating, and to put that beef on there and let that 30, I just put a certain amount of time on each side, cover it with foil, held it down with some weights, and that stuff was unreal and tender. If you needed a knife, it was only to go once. You could cut it one. You just score it once. You draw it back one time with the knife, and you barely had to chew it. So that's Winn-Dixie. Y'all better not mess this up. Do not do this. Do not mess this up and try to perpetuate some kind of prepackaged baloney on us. Don't play games because you might lose that game. I'm gonna call it Jesse James. I got it. And why did I get it? Because I really knew it? No. Because you could tell I wasn't even confident. I got it right because I didn't think the WD liquors would have that kind of level of char. You know, like it's just like really basic. They're saying, look, it's a store brand. Just make it taste decent. Nobody's going to care anyway. They're paying $15.99. We don't want any kind of like cachet with it because look at the label. It's so basic. So the liquor company said, okay, you got it. And you got it. But once I started noticing some complexity, I say, got to be Jesse James. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Jesse James is any kind of way particularly complex because it isn't. But compared to WD, it is. Okay, last comments. I guess I will pass on this one. I don't think you should pass on it. Craft Beer Tastic says, hey, worst comes to worst, the cheap WD could be used as a sanitizer solution. It's not bad. It's actually good. I think it's a good whiskey. I would buy it just to drink it if I drink whiskey. I don't. I only do taste challenges with it. True story. The corn process is pretty cool. It is. Has it got a sweet taste? They're both sweet. I like the sweet tasting whiskeys. Well, these will both be winners because they're both sweet. Back in the 1980s, I went to Old Mexico on a regular basis. You really did? That's back when it was really safe and everything was so cheap. You could buy Sol for 20 cents. You know, Sol beer, S-O-L, Sol beer was 20 cents a bottle. Had the time of my life with it. It's fun. It was when I went. What's up, old Ronald, says Jeep Ski. Just tasting. Burley Sullivan says, you. Cheers back to you. Our flea markets sell those corns you spoke of there as vendors selling them. Oh, really? Those grilled corns? Jason Cleveland says, Jay, have you ever tried a whiskey made in Mexico? No, but I've had brandy from Mexico more than once. Or a friend that comes over to drink your good whiskey, give them that whiskey, laughing out loud. Yeah, I'm going to let David drink this because he always likes to take double shots. Jay, have you tried Japanese whiskey? Thanks, says Sean LeBroy in Canada. I've never bought any. I'm just going to be honest. My friend David, back years ago in the 20 teens, remember the 20 teens? He would buy like Hibiki Harmony, Suntory, Tokai, and all these expensive Japanese whiskeys. And he was paying all kind of outlandish prices for it. I wouldn't have bought it. But he was saying, you want to try it? Oh, yeah. So we did videos for all of those. And they were great. To me, they were great. I thought this stuff is great. This is fabulous, you know, especially since I didn't have to buy it, you know. But I mean, it was really wonderful. So would I recommend Japanese whiskey? Based on what I tried? Definitely. Based on what I tried? Absolutely. Now, I would like to try that original Suntory. They call it the tortoise shell. But I don't think they sell it in the United States. A yellow label, the original from the 1923. Oh, yeah, I think Japanese whiskey is fabulous. It's like Japanese cars. So, WD whiskey, bourbon. Is it good? Yes. Is it excellent? It is even excellent, I'll be honest. Could it go toe-to-toe with a lot of other whiskeys? Well, it has been already. I think it's going to compete. That's got me at 3 wins, 0 losses. I'm very happy. Would I buy this as a wedding gift? No, I'm not that favorable towards it. But you know what I talked about: graduation party, christening party, family reunion, getting together, watching a football game party or baseball game. Yeah, that kind of thing. But still, it's pretty credible. I think I'm right. There's no video reviews for it except for mine, which is not even posted yet. But people that want to talk dog on it, like, that's trash. I would never buy that. That's store brand. You're stupid. You're dumb. You're so dumb. I would say, well, okay, I'm dumb, but you buy it because you're talking large, you're talking loud. You can't even pay $15.99 to talk loud. Go buy it and do some blind taste tests. Let's see how expert you are. Now, of course, I got it right 3 times in a row, so that's telling me something that I can tell it apart. But in the 3 taste challenges I did, I certainly did not taste a bad flavor. I tasted a good bourbon flavor. That's what I tasted. All right, y'all take care now. Bye bye. Baseball's starting in about an hour and 10 minutes.